Okay, so I can't remember everything, but I'm getting ready to tell you some of the ways that during my lifetime that people tried to kill me and or take me out in one way or the other. And as I look back, it's really bizarre, and you wonder, because some of these people are church-going people, some of them are related, some of them claim to be saved, and some of them just have come into your world and says, I love you, and then they want to kill you. Now what's that about? So it's either the spirit of this age and these people get taken over, or they think that's normal. And go back to when I was like 4 years old, right? And I don't remember this, but I was told that I had a cousin try to choke me to death where I was turned blue, you know. Why? And then after that, I had a dad who ended up into heroin and stuff like that. He ended up going to jail for stealing stuff and all kinds of weird stuff. He seemed to be a good man. He was a carpenter. He was a good worker. But he never could, I think he hated authority. I think that's what it was. He hated authority, so he tried to do it on his own. And, you know, drinking and drugs probably. I don't know if he did drugs, but I know he did a lot of drinking. I don't know if he did. I guess heroin would be a drug. I guess they put that, through the vein or something. But when I was like 6 or so, he was putting he was trying to train me to be like a athlete or something, and putting all his weight. I ended up getting a hernia as a child, a hernia, you know. Somebody trying to choke me, a parent trying to push you in a direction that they want you to go instead of the way God wants you to go. Being raised around a bunch of smoke. And the way I saw this cube nightmare, cube vision or whatever, where the cube was trying to get through. And I was sitting on the couch, but to me the couch was like a goal. And I said, if the cube gets through, we all die. So for me to have those kind of dreams or visions or nightmares or whatever, they had to be drugging me with something as a kid, you know, without me knowing it, you know. Then my first job was at McDonald's, and I had this coworker. He had a water bottle, and I guess he thought it was water, but it was acid. Now he said he thought it was water, but he sprayed in my eyes, kind of joking, and it ended up not being water, some kind of chemical. And I ended up having to wear glasses, I think, because I was the only person in my family to wear glasses, you know. In college, my college roommates, let's go drinking, let's go to the topless bar, let's go. And they didn't want to drive. They said, you can drive. And I actually didn't trust them to drive, but want me to drive drunk, you know. Want me to drive drunk so I get in trouble and they don't get in trouble. Then getting married and and so it's not just physical death. They try to pull you into soul death, right? Try to indoctrinate, you know, you get married and they try to indoctrinate you into some kind of Pentecostal lie, you know, some kind of loser salvation lie, stuff like that, you know. And it's not just an in-law situation. I saw it out there all over the place. The cults and the isms trying to pull you in. And if you don't go there, if you don't do their will, they want to lock you up, for real. They want to take you out, lock you up. Your ex tries to get the neighbors. Your ex tries to get the neighbors to hate you. It's sad, man. Why don't they just go away? They don't just go away. They want to come back. They want to steal, kill, and keep harassing. And why don't they just leave? But they want to always come back, you know. This might not be in order now. This might not be in order. It's just stuff coming to my mind as I'm talking. But this one lady, she tried to get her ex through lies to pretty much take me out, you know. I worked at one job and the boss stole my motorcycle. She said, "I'm your boss. You can trust me. I'm just going to pay payments." And then as soon as I signed the title over, it was only a $1,200 motorcycle, but the fact that she stole my motorcycle and said, "You're fired." I said, "What?" I said, "I'll just go to your boss." She said, "I don't care who you go to. I'll lie and say that you're the one that's doing it." I said, "Okay." Then a friend of mine said, let's go get that motorcycle back. And I said, they get me it's in her name now. What are you talking about? I can't do it. So lesson learned, you know. A friend was more mad about it than I was. It's like, I was mad, but I was like, man, I was trusted somebody and I shouldn't have. So there's goats and there's snakes and there's predators and liars and con artists and schemers and gamers all around, and I've seen them all. Had this one lady who was mowing my yard a long time ago, and her and her boyfriend used to always fight, and she'd just come down and say, "I don't have any money, he kicked me out, can I mow your yard for $20?" I said, "Yeah, that's fine." And then he would come down there a month later. "I don't have any money. She took off and I need $20. Then one day she came down there. She knocked on the door. I said, "I don't need the yard mowed." She said, "Well, I'm not here for the yard. I've always thought you were nice, and can I come in?" I said, "I don't think so." And then after that, because I rejected her, she tried to stir up the neighbors, and she told some kids in the neighborhood, the black kids. She said, "He said something about black." I said, "I didn't. What are y'all talking about?" So I had a mob out in front of my house, ready to kill me because of her lies, you know. And that reminds me of one time, maybe 10 years later, I had a renter across the street. He was always having parties, just 11, 12, 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, and I know he's a Freemason because I saw him talking to the police. And you know, all the police are Freemasons. So anyway, I saw him talk to the police at a store, and he didn't know I just showed up, and they were sitting there collaborating, you know. All the parties that he was, so what I concluded, that all these parties that they were setting up, it was almost like he was like a narc or whatever, for the police to catch people doing stuff. That's the only thing I could figure, because as many times as I called the police, they never did anything. And I finally took him to court. I said, "Okay." I said, "I'll just take him to court." He said, "We can't do anything. You'd have to take him to court." I said, "Okay, I'll take him to court," because this has been going on for years, too long. So I took him to court, and he wouldn't be fined but $100, but the fact that just the principle of the matter. Then after that, he did calm down a little bit, quiet a little bit, but they did something one night, and I called the police. I don't even think I said I did like that, cut the music down. And about 20 of them got out there in the yard, like another gang, saying we're gonna kill you or something, you know. So I took my shotgun and I just held it at the front door. I had a gang in front of me. I just held my shotgun at the front door, and he lied to the police, said he pointed that gun at me. And the police came. I said, no, I didn't point the gun. I had a mob out in front of my house, and I had a gun, just letting them know if they try to break in, somebody's going to be taken out. They might take me out, but one or two of them is going to get took out. And the police took my gun for 30 days, and I had to go get it after 30 days. But my point is, mobs in front of the house, ex is trying to kill me, ex-girlfriends trying to get their new guy to try to kill me, make up things, making up lies. People choking you when you're a little kid. People wanting you to get in trouble, drive them around drunk. They don't want to get in trouble, and it's just going on and on and on and on and on. It was nonstop. One drughead lady didn't know she was a drughead, talking to her, and then all of a sudden find out she's a drughead, just being friends. I wasn't trying to date the girl. I was just trying to be friends with her. She seemed nice. She ended up being a drughead, trying to move in because her boyfriend kicked her out. I said, I don't think so. And then I guess that made her mad because I saw through her game, or I didn't go along with it. And then over time, I need a ride this week to go to the doctor, and I'll pay you. All right, I said, but I'm just there and back. I really can't be doing. My time is limited. Day 1, it was fine. Day 2, it was fine. Day 3, sitting there forever. Well, can we go here? And at day 3, said, can I have the money back? Because I'm gonna have to cancel. Because I wouldn't play the game. I'm gonna have to cancel. Can I have the money back? Because you paid a week in advance. What? I already spent that money. What are you talking about? Brandon, and now here's another one. Rented a space to this witch. You know, I didn't know she was a witch, but when I helped her move out because she didn't have any help, and all the Wiccan stuff was in there. So it was like a spiritual attack. That house things started happening, you know. She must have done some kind of demon location on that house or something. Demon spell location on that house. Things started weird happening in the house there. I mean, it goes on and on. I mean, it's so hard. It's so much that people wouldn't even believe it. That's why I don't talk about it much. I could go on and on and on. This one girl, let's move here and get married. I can't even talk about some of it. It's just so bizarre. Some of it's just so bizarre. I don't even know what to think about it anymore. I think what it comes down to is the flesh mind, what the flesh mind thinks is normal, because society's normalized it, and it's a little bit lower than normal. They try to pull you in. I think what's happening is they try to pull you into a trap, you know, a legal trap, or get pregnant trap. They want to get pregnant. They want to pull you into some kind of legal trap. They want to try to get you. They want to try to trap you and put you in a corner, and so that you can't get out, so that you acquiesce to their insanity. And then when you don't, when you start to see the game, they're trying to put you in this little corner, and you don't go along with it, and you recognize what's going on, and you see the demon in them. So you see the demon game in them, because it's a chess match, right? They get mad because you see the demon in them gets mad, and they don't know they're demon possessed, and so they get mad because it's a demon spirit. It's the spirit of the age, you know. And so you see they're trying to pull you down this little spiral of evil, and you're like, what did I get? You looked all pretty. You're the devil. You look pretty. You talked nice, but you're the devil. Get away from me. Get away from me, devil. And it's like, once you get away from them, once you see, I had some family members try to pull me into an agreement buying a camper, you know, to drive. They wanted to go in and buy a camper. And I said, I don't think so, because I knew then that you don't yoke up with the unsaved and go in agreement, because as soon as you do, it goes into chaos. And sure enough, they did it, and it ended up into chaos. And it's like, once you see through their games and their insanity and their confusion and their whatever they're doing, you know, I don't know what they're doing, and you pull out of it, and you get out before you even get in, really. You get out before you even get in. And so you pull out. I'll give you an example. I had an uncle, and all he did was like start bars. He would run bars, you know. See how rough that looks? See how ridiculous and rough that bar looks? And so his would look like that, but they would even look worse, you know. And so he would try to get people to work for him and not pay and all that. And so, I mean, look at that. They would try to start this venture where they're going to get rich quick, and then not pay their help, not pay even their family who helped them, not pay or not help anybody. End up getting sued, fights in the club and stuff like that. But anyway, long story short, it was nothing but chaos all the time. And the Bible tells you that there's no peace, saith the Lord, to the wicked. So the average person you think was not wicked, but the reality is most people are. I mean, I'm just telling you, 70% of the people are just pure wicked, evil. And they come up with schemes to try to pull you into their evil, and you become the scapegoat, you know. And if you don't run with them to the same excess of riot, they speak evil of you, the Bible says, and they want to pretty much kill you. And they speak evil of you and make up lies to where, so they tell the neighbors lies, and they want them to have a mob come after you, you know. So I have the legitimate right to live in peace and call the police if somebody's making loud noise at 2 o'clock in the morning. But they turned it around, and the mob wanted to kill me. Why? And I have a legitimate right not to go in a relationship with a person mowing my yard. But she tried to kill you because you reject her, you know. And it goes on and on and on and on. It's just, my point is, after you not to mention mother-in-law's trying to run your house. Not to mention that, mother-in-law's trying to run your house and tell you what to do and what to believe and what to think. And not to mention online. I didn't even got into online. The online stuff's even crazier. The Gnostics trying to indoctrinate you. The New Age trying to indoctrinate you. The Wiccans trying to indoctrinate you. The RH negative cult trying to indoctrinate you. Emailing you. Oh, I like your voice. Give me a call. Trying to lure you in. I already knew what that was about. And a month later, this person ends up getting married. So how you get married that fast when you trying to flirt with somebody else and you got married like that? What's that about? It's a game. It's a game to steal, kill, and destroy. It's the Jezebel spirit wanting to steal, kill, and destroy. Think about this. I got renters that Not now, but in the past. I've had renters try to live somewhere and not pay. Want me to be their daddy. Want me to take care of them. I gotta pay the bills. And you want me to be your daddy and take care? I don't think so. Pay your rent. Where's he at? There he is. They're communicating. Listen to that. That's a sign of something happening. One of them right above you. Somebody getting ready to die, they say, right? Yeah. Not even joking. So I think what's happening here is, let me just tell you what I think's happening. I think the average person, they're going after that possum is what they were doing. They were attacking a possum going across. He was over there and they saw him and he went across the street and they went after him. Here's what I think's happening. The average person thinks like the culture. And the culture is evil, pure evil. And so they go along with the culture is the culture lie. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. But there's a deeper culture lie, which is if you're stupid enough to let me get over on you, then I'm going to get over on you. That's another of their worldview lies, you know. And I haven't even hit on half. I've only given you like a third of stuff that I've experienced that'll blow your ever living mind. Especially if you got people who are on drugs or they're drunkards. And I'm talking about drunkards. I'm not talking about just somebody who drinks a beer every once in a while, but I'm talking about people who are drunkards. They're going to try to vampire off of you. They're going to try to capsize your ship. And what I found is these women, these kind of women, they want you to cross the boundaries so they can cross boundaries and they can hold you. So the Jezebel spirit, if you read Proverbs 5, 7, and 9, this Jezebel spirit wants to get you in a compromised situation to try to control you with strings. And it's so prevalent in the culture that 90%, and some of the saved women, 90% of them think it's normal that they live that way. Like the baby daddy syndrome. They're trying to trap a man to get him in court so he pays child support. They don't have to work. They just live for free. They don't have to be married and submit to a husband. They can just live in their little apartment, have 4 or 5 men, one paying the phone bill, one paying. They don't want to submit to nobody because they hate the authority of God, and if they hate the authority of God, they hate. So the culture is this way, and women were probably shouting, "Well, what about the men? They just want to have sex and throw you to the side." Yeah, that's a culture lie too. I mean, that's another culture lie that is normalized. And so the culture lies that are normalized, that are evil, is why they think it's okay to target you. And if we can get over, it's his fault for us getting over on him because he was naive. He was so naive. He let us do it. So they justified in their mind to do evil because a person wasn't wise enough to to think them evil instead of thinking the best in them. So you want to think the best of people, but you find out over the years that you can't. You have to think the worst, and especially online, because most of these people who are teaching online, they're just teaching false doctrine. The Bible is clear. If you get these few doctrines right, you'll be set. Once saved, always saved is Bible. You're sealed until the day of redemption. Faith alone in Jesus alone is Bible. Ephesians 2:8. Not of works, lest any man should boast. Dispensationalism. Dispensations, there's different ages that God reveals. He dispenses the truth of what Jesus did in the different ages. Mankind needs a dispensation so he can understand what Jesus did under law, under innocence, under conscience, under the church age, under grace, under tribulation, under the millennium. It's because what he's doing is he's doing a short work on the earth, 7,000 years. And so man needs the dispensations because God is dispensing medicinal truth to mankind over the ages. And so as you're moving out of the flesh mind and the culture lies and your bloodline lies, there's a lot of people that they never get outside their household of their bloodline, and they never grow. So they think what they think is normal in that house is abnormal because they never left that house. But if they go over here and start associating with people who are different or normal, the iron, there has to be some truth somewhere. Got to be some truth somewhere because this is God's universe. So if they're in a house full of codependency and enabling and narcissism and psychopaths, sociopaths, and all that stuff, the players and the con artists and all that, if that's all they've been raised around, that's all they know. But when they get over here and they start to visit this person who might be saved and they start giving them the word and they get convicted, this person gets saved in this house and they leave because they start to see how sick the house is, and they leave that house and they start to grow and get healthy and whole, and then these people are trying to pull them back and they're mad because they can't go, they're leaving their bloodline behind. There's another bird. He looks like he's scared of his big one. He's scared. All this noise. No wonder they're wild animals. They're under attack all the time. And that's kind of what we're dealing with here. Just like these wild birds trying to attack that possum over there. And these little birds sitting there thinking, what is going on? He's like a sheep around a bunch of wolves, right? And these bigger birds, so you get tough or you die. And that's pretty much what's happening down here. So the Bible teaches to be wise as serpents, but gentle as doves. So the Bible's telling you in that verse that you're surrounded by serpents. And you need to be as wise as serpents, but gentle. So when I got that neighbor come across the street, trying to encroach into my world, trying to steal, kill, and destroy, trying to get across the threshold, I can be gentle, but I can be wise. And I can set up the boundaries. I can set up the lines of demarcation. And if I got one of them trying to mow my yard, they just need to mow my yard. And they don't need to come in your house and use the bathroom or anything. Because if they're coming in your house, they're seeing what you got. That brings up believe this or not, when I was going through a divorce situation, I had some family members watched the wife load her stuff up in the U-Haul, and as soon as she was gone, they went in there looking for stuff that she left so they could take it. I said, what are you doing? That's her, leave it alone. That's her stuff. I said, if it wants to, if I want to get rid of it, I'll get rid of it. I'll take it to the dump. But you're not going to get it. But they didn't even ask my permission. And they didn't even say, I'm sorry you're going through this. I know it's tough. And they didn't care about, all they cared about was that stuff. They didn't care about what I was going through. They just cared about getting some stuff. Ain't that some crazy jacked up stuff? That's jacked up, ain't it? I've seen it. I've seen it. Bloodline, in-laws, neighbors, co-workers, bosses, enemies within, enemies without. I've seen it 1,000 trillion times that what people think is normal is usually narcissistic, psychopathic, sociopathic. It's not based on love. It's not based on truth. It's based on what they want, and they want what they want. And if they don't get what they want to kill you or put you in jail and force you to follow their strings and their will. And when you don't do the will of man, the will of the flesh, or the will of the Gentiles, even their holidays, then you become an enemy because you want to do the will of God. And when you don't celebrate their Halloween, their Christmas, their birthdays, their Super Bowls, you don't celebrate any of their junk, their culture lies, the will of the Gentiles, you become the enemy of the state. Because you don't prop up that fake reality. You don't prop it up. And when you don't prop up the system, you're not in the hive. And when you're not in the hive is going to come up to either try to take you out or try to find somebody else, some other Jezebel, to indoctrinate you into the hive. They're just like the emails, they're always trying to find something. Why do you think you're getting emails all the time? Sales ads, just like a salesperson. They're always trying to find something you want, something you desire, something you need. Or they try to put a need in that you don't even need, and they're trying to make you think you need it. They use music, colors, symbols. They do anything. Look how Yahoo is always putting. I don't even want to talk about it. But they're always trying to pull you back into the machine, the material realm, matter. So to take you out of the spirit, to bring you back down into the flesh. Take you out of the spirit, your peace and love and joy, to get you into the flesh. Revenge. See, a lot of these people, when that mob, I had a mob here, and I had one time with that lady that was mowing people's yards, and then I had a mob here because that neighbor across the street that used to be there this is a long time ago. So they're trying to intimidate you to accept the abnormal, to accept the narcissist, to accept the sociopath, to accept the psychopath. They're trying to intimidate you to accept the Wile E. Coyote insanity, and you're just like Roadrunner. You're just trying to set your affections on the word, the seed of the word. So the Roadrunner's eating the seed of the word, and they're trying to pull you into the bitterness and unforgiveness and all that. I think that's a woodpecker right there. Look at that. This place is turning into a zoo. I got animals. I got big birds, small birds. I got possums running around, rabbits. This is a zoo over here. Look at the zoo across the street. Look at that. Why would they? I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to. But when you don't accept their insanity, the culture lie, then they're going to try to bring another one in to pull you into another trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. So no matter which way you look, they're trying to pull you into a trap. And the hive, if the hive mind can't pull you in, resistance is futile, right? If the hive can't pull you in, resistance is futile, then what are they going to do? They're going to try to take you out. They're going to try to take you out. And what's funny is when you see through one, another one will pop up with some new slant. You know, when you see through the gematria lie, then the RH negative people pop up. When you see through the RH negative, then a Wiccan will pop up. When you see through that, another legalist. And then they cycle through. And so once you bust the lies of all these cults and isms, then they cycle through online. They cycle through. So the legalist couldn't get you. And then they cycle through. And then the gematria couldn't get you. They come around. They come around about once a year. Used to be once a month. Now they come around once a year. Once you see through it, the Jesuits have to send another one. The Wiccans have to send another one. A Freemason has to send another one. A narcissist cult has to send another one. The RH negative. They always have to send, as they're going through the cycle, they have to send another agent to try to pull you into some kind of trap. Because it is a trap. And it's an attack on your will, your emotion, your intellect, your soul, your body, your spirit. They're attacking your soul, body, spirit. They're attacking your will, emotions, intellect. They are attacking you all the time. And when you can't because if you're connected to it, it's hard to see it. But when you disconnect from it, it's easy to see it. Imagine disconnecting from your cell phone for a week and then turn it back on, and you get bombarded with all these notifications and emails and stuff like that, and you're being bombarded. You say, wait a minute. You would say, no. Like if you go without a Coke, so this is a Coca-Cola right here. If I go without a Coke for a month, when I taste a Coke, it tastes terrible. It's like, I just drink water. And so that's the same way with these emails. You're so close to it that it becomes normalized. Being bombarded on your phone with emails and texts and phone calls and this and this and this. And even investing in stock, you get these companies that are trying to pull you into their subscription. You're being bombarded every day with some new scheme and scam and lie and try to make you think that you need this when you've got everything you need already. But because you're so tied to it that you think it starts to normalize and you think it's normal. So that's what I'm saying. Most people are in the culture lie, and what they think is normal is abnormal until they get away from it. So you see John the Baptist went out in the woods. You see that Elijah went out in the woods. And so when they came back into their culture and spoke the truth, they had to cut John the Baptist's head off. Elijah wasn't stupid. He stayed out there. God translated him. And so Enoch was translated. Elijah was translated. So that goes back to another doctrine, the rapture of the church. It's going to happen. And so they're going to try to fight you on that. The millennium is going to happen. They're going to try to fight you on that. And so the Bema Seat of Christ, it's going to happen. The great white throne judgment is going to happen. They're going to try to fight you on these sound dispensational truths. And when you start talking about the dispensations, you're going to be attacked like crazy. When you start talking about eternal security, you're going to be attacked like crazy. When you start talking about walking in the Spirit, you're going to be attacked like crazy. It's real. My point is, whatever you're going through, you're not alone. The other saints are going through it. Trust me, I've talked to enough of them. They've been through some worse stuff than I've ever been through. Some of them have been through some rough times. I escaped. I don't know, by the grace of God, I escaped at most. I got hurt a few times, but I did escape. But some people don't escape, and they get taken out. So whatever you're going through, Jesus already went through it, and other saints are going through it. But you're supposed to be as wise as the serpent, that enemy over there. You know, that serpent over there in the grass can shapeshift, right? He can look like the grass, but it's a snake in the grass. And so I'm telling you, this is real. Always don't be paranoid. Be a little bit paranoid, but don't be paranoid to the fact that you can't function. But always be on guard, always be on watch, always be aware, because these people are real. If they come and knock on your door and say, I'm a sense this person, how do you know they're senses? If they come and knock on your door, say, I want to come in your house. No, don't let them across your threshold, period. Because as soon as they go across the threshold, they become an agent to communicate with the other agents. It's real, people. The Bible says a man's enemies are his own house. So you've got to watch what you're thinking, what you're saying. You've got to be on guard, because you are being set up most likely by somebody, if they can. Now, God will make a way of escape, but this is a real battle. They're trying to steal from you, kill you, and destroy you. Whether it's legally, whether it's financially, whether it's any way they can, reputation. They're trying to steal, kill, and destroy. But when you trust God and you don't care about their lies, they can lie all day long. They can make up stuff all day long. And when you really focus on God and put God first, the whole world can hate you. But you can walk by faith, because God is on your side. And you know, maybe you did some bad thing. Maybe you did wrong. But you know that you've made things right with God, and you're on God's side. And if you're one with God, that's a majority. 1 can take down 1,000, 2 can take down 10,000. So you and God can fight against 10,000. God can fight against 1,000,000,000, but my point is, 1 can take down 1,000, 2 can take down 10,000. If you got one friend that stands by you, you can take down 10,000. But if you got God on your side, the 10,000 is easy button, right? So if you hold to your integrity before God, that you're trusting God to get you through, and you walk by faith, because you're saved by faith and you walk by faith, no matter if they try to steal from you, kill you, destroy you, you come out on the other side, because the righteous man might fall 7 times, but he gets back up. That's Bible. Why do I do this channel? Why do I do these videos? Because I know what I've gone through and had to overcome with some of these sharks. And you can make it, but you a lot of times when you're rubbing shoulders with them, you have to die daily. You just have to zip the lip or endure some things and put up with until God opens the path. You know, there's a lot of things that happen to you. But if other people made it through it, you can do it. And it's an attack, really, against Christ in you. And so Jesus says, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. A lot of these people are doing it because they think they normalize the culture insanity. And when you don't go along with the culture insanity, then you become evil because you're judging me, or you're just different, or whatever. No, you're not judging. You just see past the normalization of evil, the normalization of players and gamers and psychopaths and narcissists. and selfish people and lazy people, and they've normalized. They tried to normalize the evil when it's abnormal. That's what's happening.